afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, March 3, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. This is Jared RAND. We'll be having a Time for Change call Wednesday after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about the transition from the democracy to the constitutional republic and the wealth transfer to the people of this country and then eventually all over the planet. Everything that we do in this life is connected to the mind. And after over 7 years of doing these meditations, you begin to comprehend the fact that our main it's kind of a combination. Our main purpose is to master the ego mind so that you stop being the slave to the ego mind and it becomes your servant. And then it takes a back seat and it finally finds peace and it fades out. And you become fully enlightened. And you're in the now, the moment, through heart-mindedness all the time. So all the things that we experience in this life and many other lifetimes, where we get stressful and we get irritated, and most of us don't even know that we're stressful. That's interesting. Most people don't even know that they're stressed because they're so used to it. So they carry it, so to speak, well, because they just aren't aware of it. And believe you me, when I did massage years ago, it was amazing the amount of stress, tension, anxiety that was harbored in the body. Different parts of the body, different areas of the body. And why is that? Why is it so intense with people? They don't know, number one. They don't know they carry it. And it intensifies the longer they keep it. But they don't know it. It's like in this meditation, when you find a comfortable place and you have no outside distractions, and you begin to relax into your body. This is the only way to relax the body. Naturally, you relax into the body. You become as still as you possibly can be, and you focus on the breath rising and falling like your normal breathing. This puts you in a state of relaxation. And you don't have a care because you have left the mind, the ego alone, and you're embraced with the moment, the now. And of course we know that the ego mind doesn't exist in the now. And this is the only way you can master it. And when we have so many things that distract us, it is really challenging for any of us to, practice going into the now and staying there. And practice it all the time. Do it all the time. And isn't it amazing that all this stuff that with these bodies, because they're highly emotional, as I've said numerous times, we just don't realize we're like, these bodies are like a vacuum. And they pull in everything. And then you have the subconscious mind recording everything and then randomly playing it back. And you have all of these stress factors, I guess you could call it. Some people respond differently than others, obviously. But as you go through this life, you collect it. It's like you collect these things. And it depends where, because the body, you will store it in different parts of the body. Not everybody stores it in the shoulders. Not everybody stores it in the legs. Not everybody stores it in the buttocks. Not everybody stores it in that same place. It's different, just about for everybody. And then it depends on the intensity of it. This plays an important role on if you are unable to relax, it's going to be very difficult to be in meditation. Okay. And I don't mean relaxing artificially. I mean relaxing organically, naturally. You relax into the body. You just lean right back and fall into your body. One might say, well, how can we carry all this? Why? Like I said, the body is like it's a magnet. It's just like a vacuum. We're not like we're doing it on purpose. We pull it in, and we store it. It's like if let's say that you experience what we call a broken heart in a romantic setting, relationship. Immediately you build these protective walls up. They're illusions, but they're walls. So you protect yourself. You're not protecting yourself, you're protecting your ego. Which keeps you from being wild and free. And you begin to convince yourself through the ego mind that you have locked that away. You're not going to ever use it again. You're going to lock it away. Interestingly enough, at the same time, you haven't learned that you're never alone. You could say you're never alone, but you feel alone. Then you know that you aren't comprehending what never being alone means. I've had people tell me, well, I don't ever feel alone. But then they talk about the fact that they're alone. And see, it's a kind of blurred for all of us. We're in it's kind of hard to differentiate, focus it, clarify it. The fact that we are in this illusion, but to us it's just darn real. And we become so enamored with the physical, material, organic form that we lose sight of the fact that that's not us. It's not us. It's not you. And when this is firmly clarified and comprehended by you, at that point, you don't have fears, you don't have anxieties, you don't have stresses. They don't exist. Because you know who and what you are. You're pure consciousness, cosmic consciousness, pure consciousness, or God in the body. That's why I get a kick out of scientists trying to find the God particle. The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. To find a God particle. When we are all gods in these bodies. So you look at the landscape and you say, wow, there's a huge variety on where you're going to choose to go. Which area are you going to go and master? Well, obviously, the pick is ego mind. And knowing that you master the ego mind through meditation. And all the mastering is that you watch the ego mind on how it operates. Its insecurities and its thoughts and everything. But you're not participating because you're leaving it alone. So this is the only way you can view it. And this is the only way you're going to know as time progresses that you will see and experience it. You'll know that's the ego mind thought. You'll get it down to a science. It'll be like, this is ego mind thought. Not as connected as they seem to be to you. What you do is you just say, no, I just let it go by. I know what that is. And thankfully, we have had enough life experience to know this because we've experienced it so many times. And so we just kind of back away and watch it and learn from it. And eventually we master it. Because we then begin to focus on our thoughts. And we know what our thoughts are because those are thoughts that we send out to this universe. And when we don't manage our thoughts, we don't master our thoughts, these little thoughts will shoot out there that we send out. They're just brief. They just, we shoot them out there and then we're just off here and off there. And they manifest. These are the little surprises that you say to yourself, where the heck did that come from? I wouldn't have brought that in. But you focused on something for a moment without expectations, without attachments. You just focused on it and it was gone. And you move on. You don't really think about it. But those are the things that we manifest that come in surprises. See what I mean? These are the little things in our lives that we experience, and we say, well, where did that come from? Didn't come from me. And it did. See? Everything is you're creating. There are no exceptions because you are the God. You are the creator. You create. It's what we all do. It's part of what we are, creators. So, and those thoughts that we shoot out there, and we shoot them out there. And we aren't grabbing onto them, and we aren't clenching them with our fists. We just let them go. We say, boom, out there. The universe says, okay, here, it's yours. Whatever it may be. Sometimes I'll get tricked, and I'll get tricked by the ego mind, and it'll slip in a thought that I believe is mine. As soon as I catch it and I say, delete, clear, cleanse on all existences, all planes, always and forever. So I negate it immediately. And any of us can do that. But once we finally plug into the now and heart-mindedness, then we're wild and free. That's our natural state anyway. Wild and free. Not composed and constricted and robotized and dronetized and, directed and prodded and pulled. See, that's not our natural state of being. This is why so many of us, we rebel, because it is just not our natural state. You're not going to do something if every time you do it, it's like being shocked, right? After a while, you're not going to do it. It's like every time you're going, I'm shocking myself. Why? I'm not going to do that anymore. And eventually you stop doing it. It isn't about control at all. That's ego mind. It's about knowing. That's heart mind. See, because then you realize that anything outside of you, right? Anything going on out there, you're just watching it. You're an observer. It doesn't affect you. Like we allow all this stuff, and then we get all mucked and stuck in it. But from heart-mindedness, you're not concerned about what other people think, what other people say. It doesn't bother you, genuinely. Not superficially, but genuinely. So you embrace yourself every moment you get. You're in deep gratitude for this life. I mean, you're elated every moment you're in the body. And I've often said to people, I said, look, you have stress. This is where you hold it. This is why I worked on this area so long. And the stress factor is just telling you as a signal. It's giving you, stress is giving you a signal from the body. The body is giving you the stress to stop whatever they are doing and let it all go. And most of us, what we do is we ignore the signal. We keep going, right? And keep going, and this will only cause future pain. And so when you're stress-free, you only want to transcend the mental prison of your ego's agenda. You see, the body lets you know this, even though you have practiced the art of letting go and releasing for years. You always consider yourself to be a student. You're always learning. And you've truly come around to embracing your own innocence. And this is the pure, simple ecstasy that everyone is seeking. You can see and feel that within the innermost core is the pure being. And you know this is the simple ecstasy everyone is seeking. And you ask yourself, okay, so what's the difference? What's the difference between people who are bound up, the stress and anxiety and fear? And then those that aren't? How can you tell? Well, those of us who embrace a stress-free way of life have a very playful energy. This entire universe is their playground. And these are the people that choose to embrace a stress-free way of life. So they play with all kinds of people from all walks and worlds. All walks and worlds. They also welcome any experience they come in contact with. They know how to easily handle any negative thoughts that arise in the mind. They never take these negative things too seriously and choose instead a playful approach on the inner world as well as the outer. And those of us who choose to be this way, we resist nothing. We resist nothing. We fight nothing. We're not in a fight with anything. And when negative feelings and a grumpy state enters the mind, what we do is we invite it in openly and experience the pattern it's holding fully. Because everything that occurs in our mind, emotions and body are welcomed as a guest that is here to visit for a short time. They know the bigger picture of life. So when I talk about they, those people who choose to be this way, they can welcome each thought and feeling and not get stuck in them. See every negative thought as a small water rapid down the infinite river of life. And so kick back and relish the ride over them. Can't you feel it? I mean, sometimes people say you can feel it. You can feel the tension. Have you ever walked into, or maybe a group of people or some relatives, whatever, you can feel the tension. All right? You can feel it. I know we've all experienced that more than once. And what happens is that someone who constantly lives in this anxiety, stress-free, worry-free zone has tapped into the truth of their being. They live each moment connected to the truth that they are an infinite being that knows no death. They know the body will come and go. Yet, who they are cannot be harmed or impacted by the outer world. This is the transition of this civilization. This is huge. And then when those of us who choose this way, and we fully embrace this knowing, it is impossible for any of that crap to exist in our world, for we realize that all outer world situations are temporary experiences that cannot touch the beauty and lightness of our being. See how we've gotten so close, so intimate with the material physical existence and the ego-mind master. See, we're so close that we don't know that we're not all that. See? It's just a temporary play. And our true selves are the gods in these bodies of pure consciousness. Heart-mindedness. So we don't have any of that stuff. It doesn't exist. And whenever it comes along, we just pull it in, give it a big hug and a kiss and say, hey, how you doing? What is it that you need? And then, poof, it's gone. Now, one might think, well, boy, that gets really busy, all the micromanaging and everything. No, you're not micromanaging. You're aware of your thoughts. You're aware of what you send out. Doesn't that make sense? Instead of like being the Tasmanian devil on that cartoon, Looney Tunes, whatever, you're master. You are the master. You very quietly and peacefully master your thoughts, and you know your thoughts, so you're able to direct your thoughts accordingly. If there is something that you wish to have or to experience, you know how to do that. You don't do it in ego mind. Because you leave ego mind alone, you go into the now, you're in meditation, that's when you focus on what it is you want. And you'll always get it as long as you're in heart-mindedness, as long as you don't operate with attachments and expectations, and as long as you have 100% faith, confidence, and trust in yourself and this universe. If you don't have those elements, 9 times out of 10, it ain't going to materialize. It isn't. And then what happens? Well, then there's suffering, disappointment. We know how it goes. We've all been there. We realize the truth, and we will be truly free. When we realize the truth, we will be truly free. What is the truth? That we are not these bodies, that we are the God within the body, and we experience the body for a short period of time, and then we leave it. The true self, the true one, the true God is you, which cannot be harmed. Whatever people say, whatever people do, any of that stuff on the external world, it isn't affecting you. And then you truly, deeply realize and comprehend you are not this mind nor this body. You are this radiant, eternal light that cannot be dimmed in any way, shape, or form. And your true self continues to shine brightly through all of the adventures of being a human being, that the mind may simply, or is simply, may label as stressful. See, the mind may label it as stressful, and whatever may cause your mind to be stressed out is simply the mind being overly attached to a certain limited thought or form. And when you master your thoughts, that doesn't happen. When you realize the truth of who you are, the mind has to let go automatically. And guess what? And you are free. And we move into the meditative mind, which is divine mind. It is simply being here in the now. It has become so relaxed that it is actually laser focused, pointing towards mindfulness in the now. And every stress-free being will share with you there is no better moment in your life than this one that is happening right now. And the meditation is a way to quiet the mind so we can see that all experiences, negative and positive, are passed to the soul to discover this higher universal source. A quiet mind can hear their intuition clearly, so they can establish deeper connections with everyone in this world and manifest a much more peaceful experience of life. A quiet mind is much easier to live with than a busy mind. Eliminate, remove all of your attachment to your past and future, because this is what creates the greatest amount of stress, worry, fear, anxiety in your life. And since this moment is the now, it is the only thing that is real. Choose to be constantly celebrating what is happening now. If you are experiencing a problem, celebrate it. That problem will soon be deep, eternal loving in disguise. Life is actually not about overcoming your problems and karma. It is a celebration of all opposites until there is equanimity in the mind and complete balance of emotions, which leads you into total freedom of consciousness. How could the mind know light without shadow or depth without shallowness? The mind exists in a state of perpetual ebb and flow of the tides. Celebration of this play is what makes you a master of your life. Whatever it is that's happening in your life right now, there is some way you can celebrate it. There is always another door opening where one has closed. Now is that moment that is filled with life's amazing qualities. Just realizing this little secret will assist you greatly in choosing to see the miraculous instead of the mundane wherever you are. It's highly recommended that we always remember our infinite nature. As you go through your days, pause regularly to remember this simple truth. We are all eternal beings who never die. We are souls in a body who will only change form. We will be reborn again if we want to or not. We have enough awareness we can choose to master this existence and then experience anything we want to. The infinite quality of our own being is obvious and very real. It is just like the sun, always shining, always bright and super warm. And yet the sun is a grand understatement to describe the brilliance of who we really are. And when we discover the true enormity inside ourselves, everything will change. And this outer world will no longer impact you in a negative, fearful way. This universe will welcome you to explore this limitless, divine self everywhere you go on its playground. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on your breath rising and falling. Shine the light of consciousness into your unconsciousness, and you will illuminate your soul. Right now, there is a massive amount of hidden, unknown, buried material in our unconsciousness. Sometime today, maybe for 30 minutes, bring your awareness into your unconsciousness. How do you do this? Sit in a dark room, close your eyes, relax deeply into your belly and body. Allow any thought to arise that may be hidden beneath the surface. When they do, the instant they enter your mind, imagine you're shining a bright golden spotlight on them immediately. However, this light is so powerful, it incinerates the thought and they dissolve instantly, giving more space for you inside. During this exercise, know that you are safe here, no matter what you experience. Even though you may see nothing and feel nothing, stay present to the void. You may feel your entire body and mind have disappeared. Simply remain present and aware that consciousness is always here. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night, the following morning. We will return here March 4, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.